Jupiter is the fifth planet from our Sun and is, by far, the largest planet in the solar system, more than twice as massive as all the other planets combined. Jupiter, being the biggest planet, gets its name from the king of the ancient Roman gods. Jupiter's stripes and swirls are actually cold, windy clouds of ammonia and water, floating in an atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. Jupiter's iconic Great Red Spot is a giant storm bigger than Earth that has raged for hundreds of years. Jupiter is surrounded by dozens of moons. Jupiter also has several rings, but unlike the famous rings of Saturn, Jupiter's rings are very faint and made of dust, not ice. Moons. With 4 large moons and many smaller moons, Jupiter forms a kind of miniature solar system. Jupiter has 80 moons. 57 moons have been given official names by the International Astronomical Union (IAU). Another 23 moons are awaiting names. Jupiter's 4 largest moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, were first observed by the astronomer Galileo Galilei in 1610 using an early version of the telescope. These 4 moons are known today as the Galilean satellites, and they're some of the most fascinating destinations in our solar system. Io is the most volcanically active body in the solar system. Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system, even bigger than the planet Mercury. Callisto's very few small craters indicate a small degree of current surface activity. A liquid water ocean with the ingredients for life may lie beneath the frozen crust of Europa, making it a tempting place to explore. Potential for life. Jupiter's environment is probably not conducive to life as we know it. The temperatures, pressures, and materials that characterize this planet are most likely too extreme and volatile for organisms to adapt to. While planet Jupiter is an unlikely place for living things to take hold, the same is not true of some of its many moons. Europa is one of the likeliest places to find life elsewhere in our solar system. There is evidence of a vast ocean just beneath its icy crust, where life could possibly be supported. Size and distance. With a radius of 43,440.7 miles, 69,911 kilometers, Jupiter is 11 times wider than Earth. If Earth were the size of a nickel, Jupiter would be about as big as a basketball. From an average distance of 484 million miles, 778 million kilometers, Jupiter is 5.2 astronomical units away from the Sun. 1 astronomical unit, abbreviated as AU, is the distance from the Sun to Earth. From this distance, it takes sunlight 43 minutes to travel from the Sun to Jupiter. Rings. Discovered in 1979 by NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft, Jupiter's rings were a surprise, as they are composed of small, dark particles and are difficult to see except when backlit by the Sun. Data from the Galileo spacecraft indicate that Jupiter's ring system may be formed by dust kicked up as interplanetary meteoroids smash into the giant planet's small innermost moons. Formation. Jupiter took shape when the rest of the solar system formed about 4.5 billion years ago, when gravity pulled swirling gas and dust in to become this gas giant. Jupiter took most of the mass left over after the formation of the Sun, ending up with more than twice the combined material of the other bodies in the solar system. In fact, Jupiter has the same ingredients as a star, but it did not grow massive enough to ignite. About 4 billion years ago, Jupiter settled into its current position in the outer solar system, where it is the 5th planet from the Sun. Surface. As a gas giant, Jupiter does not have a true surface. The planet consists mainly of gases and liquids. While the spacecraft would have nowhere to land on Jupiter, it would also not be able to fly by unscathed. Extreme pressures and temperatures deep within the planet crush, melt, and vaporize spacecraft attempting to enter the planet. Atmosphere. Jupiter's appearance is a tapestry of colorful cloud bands and patches. The gas planet likely has 3 distinct layers of clouds in its sky that together make up about 44 miles, 71 kilometers. The upper cloud is likely composed of ammonia ice, while the middle layer is likely composed of ammonium hydrosulfide crystals. The innermost layer may be composed of water ice and steam. The bright colors you see in Jupiter's thick bands could be plumes of sulfur and phosphorus gases rising from the planet's warmer interior. Jupiter's rapid rotation, one rotation every 10 hours, creates strong jet streams that separate its clouds into dark belts and bright zones and long stretches. Without a solid surface to slow them down, Jupiter's sunspots could persist for years. Stormy Jupiter has over a dozen prevailing winds, some of which reach 335 miles per hour, 539 kilometers per hour, at the equator. The Great Red Spot, a swirling oval of clouds twice the width of Earth, has been observed on the giant planet for over 300 years. More recently, the 3 smaller ovals have merged into a small red patch about half the size of its larger cousin. Findings from NASA's Juno probe released in October 2021 provide a more complete picture of what's going on beneath these clouds. Data from Juno shows that Jupiter's cyclones are warmer at the top, with lower atmospheric density, while they are colder, with higher density at the bottom. Counter-rotating anticyclones are colder at the top but warmer at the bottom. Interesting facts for planet. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. Its diameter is about 11 times that of Earth, and its mass is more than twice that of all the other planets in the solar system combined. Jupiter is so big that it doesn't actually orbit the Sun. Instead, both Jupiter and the Sun orbit around a point in space called the barycenter, which is located outside the Sun's surface. Jupiter has the strongest magnetic field of any planet in the solar system, about 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. This creates intense radiation belts around the planet that can be hazardous to spacecraft. Jupiter has a thick atmosphere composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, with small amounts of methane, ammonia, and water vapor. The atmosphere is divided into colorful bands of clouds, with alternating light and dark stripes that are caused by powerful winds blowing in opposite directions. Jupiter has at least 79 known moons, including the 4 largest, called the Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. These moons were discovered by Galileo Galilei in 1610 and are among the most interesting objects in the solar system. Io, one of Jupiter's moons, is the most geologically active object in the solar system, with over 400 active volcanoes that spew out sulfur and other materials. Europa is believed to have a subsurface ocean of liquid water, making it a prime target for future exploration. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a giant storm that has been raging for at least 350 years. It is so large that 3 Earths could fit inside it. Jupiter has been visited by several spacecraft, including the Pioneer, Voyager, Galileo, and Juno missions. The Juno spacecraft, which arrived at Jupiter in 2016, is currently studying the planet's atmosphere, magnetic field, and interior structure.